The female led when Miushu was born with a mild, tipsy temperament and always reacted slowly with a simple and clear mind. 2 years ago, she casually picked up the extremely handsome and heavily drunk Xu Yun Nian on the street in a muddle-headed state. After waking up sober, Xu Yun Nian proposed marriage without extra hesitation. When Yushu agreed casually without overthinking, and accidentally married into a wealthy family, for 3 years she lived a luxurious and carefree life as a wealthy wife. During these 3 years, Zhu Yun Nian doted on her extremely. He indulged her unconditionally, gave her unlimited access to black cards and luxury villas, and shielded her from all worldly trivialities and troubles. Just his life was peaceful and happy. When Yushu accidentally discovered she was pregnant, she planned to share the good news with her husband soon. But before she could speak, Xu Yun Nian suddenly handed her a divorce agreement coldly. He claimed that his business had failed completely, he was bankrupt and heavily in debt, gave her a sum of settlement money, and urged her to leave decisively. At that moment, real-time bullet screens suddenly floated before her eyes, revealing the whole truth. Zhu Yun Nian was not really bankrupt at all. He got drunk 3 years ago solely because his white moonlight Song King Yin went abroad. Now that Song King Yin was about to return home, he faked bankruptcy and took the initiative to file for divorce, merely abandoning Wen Liushu, his temporary substitute, to reunite with his first love without scruples. Knowing the truth, Wen Liushu was calm and rational. She agreed to divorce without crying or making a fuss. Her indifferent reaction made Zhu Yun Nian, who was secretly reluctant and full of hidden sorrow, instantly lose all light in his eyes. Overwhelmed with disappointment, when Yushu vaguely remembered there was an important thing left unsaid, but she failed to recall it in time due to her slow response and put it aside temporarily. Zhu Yun Nian pushed the divorce agreement on pen towards her silently, his eyes turning slightly red, and his fingers tapping the edge of the table unconsciously, a habitual small gesture when he was nervous and uneasy. Instead of signing immediately, when Miushu gently touched his cold hand and cared about his health softly, Zhu Yun Nian trembled slightly but did not pull his hand away, quietly cherishing this rare warmth. She did not check the agreement terms carefully and prepared to sign directly. Zhu Yun Nian stopped her repeatedly, insisting on explaining every clause to her in detail for fear that she would suffer losses in the future. The divorce agreement was extremely favorable to Wen Liushu, the luxury villa. All deposits were fully owned by her. All huge debts under Zhu Yun Nian's name had nothing to do with her, and he even purchased a high-value lifelong trust fund for her to ensure she lived a rich and stable life for the rest of her life without financial worries. The bullet screens were full of surprise and emotion. Feeling heartache for Zhu Yun Nian's hidden deep love while wondering why he would still be extremely wealthy later despite pretending to be impoverished. When Liushu could not understand the complicated clauses and still insisted on signing, Zhu Yun Nian stopped her again, his voice hoarse. Adding a hidden clause, the divorce was only a nominal separation, not a complete break. She could ask him for help anytime if she encountered difficulties, and he would always respond and spare no effort to assist her. When Miushu was confused, pointing out that he was heavily in debt and unable to protect others, her words left Zhu Yun Nian speechless and lowered his head in helplessness. Recalling the warm trivialities of their 3 years together, Zhu Yun Nian always replied to her goodnight messages on time no matter how late he worked, prepared her favorite desserts overnight, and kept the porch light on for her every time she came home tipsy. When Yushu softened her heart, she promised seriously that she would support him if he really fell into poverty one day. Zhu Yun Nian looked up abruptly with red eyes, moved deeply, and only whispered a soft yes. Later, Zhu Yun Nian lied that he had found a manual labor job moving bricks at a construction site with food and accommodation provided, then left with a simple suitcase, deliberately pretending to be down and out. The moment the door closed, the bullet screens were flooded with sighs, feeling distressed for the domineering president lowering himself to do hard labor in his hidden affectionate suffering. Returning to the empty bedroom alone, when Yushu was surrounded by traces of Zhu Yun neon everywhere. She recalled his meticulous care over the years and suddenly felt nauseous. Rushing to the bathroom to retch, she finally remembered that she had never told him the news of her pregnancy. Meanwhile, the bullet screens issued an urgent warning. Song King-yin, Zhu Yun and Ian's white moonlight, had arrived at the villa gate to provoke her on purpose. When Yushu opened the door calmly, Song King-yin sized her up with arrogance, emphasizing her childhood friendship and deep bond with Zhu Yun Neon, claiming that Zhu Yun Neon got drunk for her 3 years ago. Now that she was back, they would reunite for sure. And when Liu Shu was just a dispensable substitute who should take the initiative to leave, she took out an intimate high school photo of her and Zhu Yun Neon to sting Wen Yushu on purpose. Unexpectedly, Wen Liu Shu had a unique way of thinking. She only commented on Zhu Yun and Ian's youthful appearance and asked to keep the photo as a souvenir, leaving Song King-yin stunned and speechless with all her provocative words in vain. Song King-yin's face turned cold, mocking her for being weird and showing off that Zhu Yun Neon would move into her house soon. When Miyushi remained sincere without jealousy, only saying relieved lie that Zhu Yun Neon would no longer have to work hard moving bricks. Defeated and helpless, Song King-yin left angrily, cursing Wen Yushu for deserving to be abandoned. Closing the door, Wen Yushu squatted down slowly against the door. She was not completely sad, yet her emotions always reacted half a beat slower than others. Stroking her flat belly gently, she whispered softly to her unborn baby that its father was about to accompany someone else. Calming down, she planned to send Zhu Yun a message about the pregnancy. However, the bullet screen suddenly showed real photos of Zhu Yun working hard at the construction site with blood blisters all over his hands, while revealing that he was actually still extremely wealthy with an unfathomable hidden identity. Feeling empty-hearted, Wen Yushu wanted to drink alcohol to relax, but the bullet screens reminded her in time of her pregnancy, warning her not to hurt the fetus. She immediately put back the wine, locked the wine cabinet, and seriously considered keeping the child. Soon after, she received a transfer message from Zhu Yun. It was half of his hard-earned salary from moving bricks, all for her daily expenses, leaving almost nothing for himself. Moved in distressed, when Yushu walked into the kitchen she had never used in 3 years, clumsily checked recipes, and worked hard for 2 hours to cook a pot of warm chicken soup. She also prepared EOTOPH orange band-aids, then took a taxi to the dusty construction site to deliver soup and medicine to him. Dressed in soft home clothes and slippers, holding a thermal insulation bucket, she looked out of place at the rugged site, looking soft and warm. At that moment, Song King-yin also drove over with an exquisite high-end meal, deliberately comparing herself and mocking Wenlisha's crude home-cooked soup, claiming Zhu Yun had a poor stomach and could not eat coarse food. When Yushu replied calmly that the soup was light and nourishing, saying that Zhu Yun needed a noble helper to make a comeback in his difficult time instead of a clinging vine like her. When Yushu retorted logically that all Zhu Yun needed at present was strength for physical labor rather than a career comeback, and she was independent and never attached to others for a living. Her clear logic silenced Song King-yin completely. And Zhu Yun came back from work. He ignored Song King-yin directly the moment he saw Wen Yushu, walking straight towards her worried about the dust hurting her body. He refused Song King-yin's kindness coldly, ordering her never to disturb them again, then escorted Wen Yushu home gently, ignoring the jealous Song King-yin all the way. On the way back, when Yushu casually mentioned Song King-yin's words about cohabitation, Zhu Yun flew into a rare rage, clarifying firmly that he had nothing to do with her and had been living in the site dormitory alone. The next day, when Yushu went for a prenatal checkup alone, she suffered severe morning sickness and looked pale with anemia after blood drawing. When she felt dizzy and weak leaving the consulting room, she accidentally saw Zhu Yun outside the emergency room with his left hand bandaged and forehead injured. He had been hurt saving a co-worker at the site. Song King-yin stayed beside him, trying to dress his wound intimately to show concern. When Yushu watched calmly, The bullet screens revealed Zhu Yun's heroic deed and hinted at his hidden wealthy family background. Spotting Wen Liushu, Zhu Yun broke away from Song Qingyan immediately and rushed over. His eyes locked on the obstetric examination report bag in her hand and her pale face. He froze completely, his eyes turning red with bloodshot lines, his voice hoarse and trembling, asking desperately if she had aborted their child privately. Before Wen Yushu could explain due to dizziness and slow response, Song Qingyan took the chance to stir up trouble, misleading Zhu Yun into believing that she'd had an abortion and was weak after the operation. Overwhelmed with despair and anger, Zhu Yun suffered a sudden internal injury, coughed up blood, and fainted on the spot. Regardless of her own discomfort, Wen Yushu caught him firmly, hurt her knees, and shouted loudly in his ear that the baby was safe and she only came for a routine checkup. Zhu Yun heard the truth vaguely before losing consciousness. The ambulance rushed Zhu Yun to the hospital. Wen Yushu followed closely, telling the medical staff clearly that she was his ex-wife and also the mother of his child. She put the ultrasound report beside his hand so that he could see the truth as soon as he woke up. In the evening, Zhu Yun regained consciousness, staring at the clear fetal heartbeat report in his hand. He finally relaxed completely, cried with relief and guilt, and apologized repeatedly to Wen Yushu for his reckless suspicion. All misunderstandings were cleared up, and their affection was restored. After recovering, Zhu Yun stopped pretending to be poor. He confessed all the truth to Wen Liushu frankly. He was the long-lost legitimate young master of the top-century-old wealthy Zhu family in the capital. The family had found him recently, but he was unwilling to return to the powerful family and be trapped in internal struggles. The old master of the Zhu family deliberately ruined his career and faked his bankruptcy to force him back to take over the family business. He proposed divorce solely to protect Wen Liushu from being implicated in family disputes and bullied by others, never because he missed his white moonlight. What's more, he revealed his secret love of many years. He had fallen in love with her at first sight long before their encounter, deliberately got drunk and dashed her to take him home, and had only loved her alone all along. Song Qingyan was just an ordinary neighbor in his youth with no romantic feelings at all. Fully understanding everything, Wen Yushu chose to trust him unconditionally. For the sake of his wife and child's safety, Zhu Yun decided to return to the Zhu family to seize power, negotiated strict conditions with the family to guarantee their dignity and safety, and moved Wen Liushu into the luxurious old mansion of the Zhu family. He had already prepared a quiet courtyard, garden, and all daily necessities according to her preferences in advance. Relying on decisive and iron-handed means, Zhu Yun quickly eliminated dissident forces in the family, firmly took charge of the Zhu group, and became a domineering tycoon in the business world. However, he still remained the same gentle husband at home, accompanying Wen Yushu to have meals on time every day, taking good care of her morning sickness and edema during pregnancy, never letting her suffer any grievances. Song Qingyan came to provoke for the last time, but Zhu Yun protected his wife sternly, cut off all relations with her completely, and let her give up all illusions. Later, Zhu Yun knelt down on one knee in the garden full of stars, holding a high-end diamond ring to propose to Wen Yushu again seriously, making up for the hasty marriage 3 years ago and promising to love her for the rest of his life. Wen Yushu agreed happily. 8 months later, Wen Yushu safely gave birth to a pair of healthy dragon and phoenix twins, forming a perfect happy family. From then on, Zhu Yun held supreme power and wealth in the business circle, but he doted on Wen Yushu alone for a lifetime, being a responsible husband and loving father. Wen Yushu remained simple and slow-tempered, protected safely by him without worries all her life. Starting from a muddle-headed encounter, passing through a false divorce and warm misunderstandings, they finally accompanied each other for a lifetime, with gentle years and perfect happiness.